when I think about an easel, I now think about it a little bit different than what I first did when I first got started painting. When I first got started painting, I went into that art supply store and I was just like, oh my gosh, these things are so mechanical looking and I don't know which one I want. So I'm gonna provide you 4 questions to ask yourself so that you can pick the right one for you. Number 1, do you plan to sit or stand? Number 2, how much space do you have? Number 3, do you plan to paint inside or outside? And number 4, how much are you willing to spend? So really, those are the 4 things to consider. I have a downloadable included so that you can really kind of digest what you want to do and how you want to do it. So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, do you plan to sit or stand while you paint? And the reason for this is, and again, I didn't think about this way back when, it's because you need to save your back. Nowadays, we are so focused on computers and a little device in our hand that our neck is constantly craned down. Same thing can happen with your easel and your canvas. You're going to spend maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours at any given time painting. That can cause a lot of strain on your neck and back. Again, most people don't think about this, but I've been to a chiropractor, and when I told them what I did for a living and they felt like the little knot in my back and we did the alignment and everything, I was painting incorrectly. I was being lazy, I wasn't moving my easel up and down, I was just keeping it, and then I was bending as I needed. Bad, bad, bad. Don't do that. It's important for you to think about, are you going to sit or stand? After that, there's really just one other question that you need to ask yourself to determine what you need to be looking at, okay? And that is, do you plan to paint indoors or outdoors? And then once you have that answered, then there's 2 other things to consider. If you plan to paint outdoors, there's really only one recommendation that I have, and that's the Sienna Plein Air box. This thing is phenomenal, and I purchased one probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I did decide, okay, I am going to be a professional artist and I wanted to invest in that. So I think it cost me about $160 just for the box itself, and I already had a tripod that I used with my old camera, and I already had a computer backpack. This way I could put the Sienna Plein Air box into my backpack and I could take it anywhere. I use it at art shows, I use it at workshops, or I can just take it down to the river and paint. And when I purchased this, it was part of my decision of, I do plan on painting the rest of my life. When my husband retires, we're planning on traveling, and I'm going to just take this thing out and pop it up by a river or a lake and just start painting. So you got to kind of think a little bit about the future and what you want to do. So that's if you're going to paint outdoors. And even if you decide that you want to paint outdoors a lot and then bring it inside to paint, the Sienna Plein Air box is fantastic. It looks cute, it's functional, and it's got a nice stain to it, so it'll look nice whether you put it into your living room, bedroom, or if you have a dedicated studio space, it'll look nice there. They can even sit on top of your table if you need it to. If you're planning on painting outdoors a lot, I would recommend the Sienna Plein Air box. The other consideration is if you're planning on painting inside. What I started with, and it was kind of a low price point, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it way back when, was because of the price. I didn't think about the impact of my back, my neck, and so on. I didn't think about any of that. So the one that I bought way back when, and I kept it for 15 years, is the Deluxe Lobo easel. And this easel was really nice. It's not mobile, so just kind of forget about that. If you get it and it's going to stay in your studio, that's going to be perfect. It also required a little bit more studio space than the Sienna box. So if you have a larger space, that's going to be great. But when I first started painting, this Lobo easel actually fit into the guest bedroom corner. That's how much space I had at that time. Now, as I progressed and I figured out, okay, this is something that I'm going to do forever. As you can see, I have a pretty large studio space now, and now I have purchased the Sienna counterweight easel, and this thing is phenomenal. And one of the key factors of deciding to purchase and investing in that, and it was an investment, it was about a $1,500 investment, was the fact that I paint various sizes, large, small, all these different sizes, and I paint on probably about 3 paintings a day. So I'm constantly switching things out. And one of the problems that I had with the Deluxe Lobo easel is that it had a little crank on it that I had to maneuver and pull up and down, and I was just lazy and I wouldn't do that. Instead, what I would do is just bend over or you know, whatever, and that caused some neck and back problems and a little knot in my neck. I went ahead and purchased the Sienna counterweight easel, because what it does is all I have to do is I can literally use 2 fingers and lift it up and lower it down. It's super easy. On the inside option, those first 2 suggestions, the Deluxe Lobo easel and the Sienna counterweight easel, can switch back and forth, sit or stand. That's kind of what I do. Sometimes I have to sit because it's got a little bit more detail work and so on, and I'll just pull up the stool and have a seat. If I plan to sit like the whole time, which I use this next easel in my classes because everyone sits, and that is the black aluminum tabletop easel. This thing is inexpensive, durable, can go anywhere. It's very small and compacts very nicely. And that one, it's a great option for tabletop, and it was maybe like 13 bucks from Dick Blick. It's great. So all of these easels that I have purchased have lasted this entire time, and I have not gotten rid of any of them except for one, and that was just because that was the Deluxe Lobo easel, because I didn't need it, and I donated it to a local school. And I can tell you, if you have any art supplies or anything like that, the local schools love those. They are severely underfunded. There is also one easel that I would not recommend that I did buy and I still have, and the only reason why I have it is because it looks cool, okay? And that is the French easel. The French easel, it's a finger pincher. In my opinion, I do take it to art shows because it attracts attention. It's what people think of when they think of an easel. And so when they see the easel, they see that you're a working artist, they get excited about it and they want to come see it. But that said, that's about the only function that's really pretty cool about it. The portability of it, it is portable, but it's just not as nice as the Sienna plein air box. And when I say that, it doesn't fit into a backpack. It's got a handle on it, it's heavy, and it's just awkward. So that's why I don't recommend that. But if you want something cool to sit into your master bedroom, which the French easel, I stained it, it sits in our master bedroom because sometimes I want to paint in there and it just looks good. Let's go back over those 4 things. Number 1, do you plan to sit or stand? Number 2, how much space do you have? Number 3, do you plan to paint inside or outside? And number 4, how much are you willing to spend? So really, those are the 4 things to consider. In the downloadable, I've got all that information so you can really kind of digest it and walk into that art store or shop online and feel confident about what you're going to buy.